Welcome back to the channel. Now, in my last video, I talked about the importance of grounding with artificial intelligence. And I'll put a link to that video in the description because you may want to go and look at that one before you come to this one, because it was that video that sparked this idea in my head about how we've discussed artificial intelligence over quite a long period. However, as much as we like it now, AI is changing everything from how we work now, how we will work in the future, and actually to the extent of how we think. But beneath the undoubted beneficial use of AI through the convenience and innovation that it has the potential to deliver, there lies something far more dangerous. And I wanted to ask the question, could we be sleepwalking into a future that we can't control? Stick around because what you're about to learn might genuinely shock you. Now, there's no doubt that artificial intelligence has gone from science fiction to everyday reality. It's in our daily lives now, one way or another. But when I first started my post-A-level studies at what was then a polytechnic, we were actually talking about artificial intelligence based on ideas that dated back to the 1950s. But what we have today is a very different beast, very different to what we were talking about then. Artificial intelligence now powers your phone, it curates your social media feeds, and it even produces videos that may appear on those feeds. Undoubtedly, it can beat world champions at chess, it can mimic voices, create art, and make decisions much faster than any human can. So it's actually no wonder that companies are racing to build smarter and faster artificial intelligence systems. But as we scale up, so do the risks. So let's talk about some of the risks that have been mentioned, like I say, for many years now. And the first one that always comes up when we're talking about this is the advent of artificial intelligence will replace millions of jobs. I think it's something that, everyone is worried about in some way. Well, according to Goldman Sachs, 300 million jobs could be affected. And this is everything from truck drivers, because we are testing automated truck drivers at the moment. Customer service, we all see this with the use of bots, and rather than phone calls to customer service. And even when we're coding, we see AI being used to generate code. So no one's immune, but have we seen this come to fruition yet? Well, like I say, maybe in some ways, but certainly not in the realms of millions, at least not yet. Now, for people who have heard of the crisis that was caused by the War of the World radio broadcasts in 1938, they caused a short-term panic about a Martian invasion of the Earth. So just imagine what might happen today if a fake video of a world leader declaring war was broadcast on TV or via an internet stream. With people's inability to determine real news from fake news, it's not inconceivable now that this could result in at least a short-term global crisis. Now, one skill I think that we're all going to have to work on in the future is that ability to identify reality from AI. And in AI terms, that is related to grounding. So like I say, it relates to that other video. And actually, some of the television programs that we're seeing now are probably not far from the truth. So science fiction is getting a bit blurred with what we can actually do. Now, on another front, we live in a world where we've got AI-guided drones that can decide actually who lives or who dies without human oversight. And we're seeing them in use in Ukraine and in the Far East now. These weapons that we've sort of talked about as science fiction are no longer science fiction. They actually are in existence now. And so, that is another worry that we have to think about. But I want to switch to a different area now, because in my video on grounding, I talked about bias. and stated that AI systems are only as fair as the data we feed them. And that data often unintentionally includes racial, gender, and economic bias. That means that AI can actually amplify inequality. And of course, this is not acceptable in the world we live in today. But if we're not very careful about the data that we use to build our AI capabilities, then even unintentionally, we can create significant bias with all the problems that that can bring. Now, what happens when AI becomes smarter than us? Well, experts like Elon Musk and the late Stephen Hawking warned that uncontrolled AI could become an existential risk. So, just to be clear, this isn't speculation, it's already happening. And if we're not careful, we are capable of building systems that we can't turn off. Now, this may seem like something out of Hollywood, but it's a possibility. But now I want to think about the good news. We can do something about this. Grounding is even more important, like I said in the last video. And we do have AI safety researchers that are working on solutions. So governments are starting to regulate. But the clock is ticking, and we do need to develop transparent AI development. We need international laws banning autonomous weapons. We need some ethical AI frameworks with real accountability, and a public that understands what's at stake. So let's remember that AI isn't evil, but unchecked, especially one that thinks faster than we do, it can be dangerous. Now, like I've said, for all of my IT career, which has been long and a rewarding one, and which is not over yet, I hope, the future of IT and AI should be to serve people, to make their jobs easier, to improve our day-to-day lives, while all the time being a servant rather than a leader. Innovation, yes. Deterministic and self-generating, no. So that's the end of this video. If it's opened your eyes to a few things, then please don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Leave a comment below. What scares you most about AI? And if you want some more deep dives into AI, the good and the bad, then leave your comment and subscribe to the channel. Now, I think AI on the whole is a positive thing, but like I say, it does need to be controlled. So that's it for now, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.